Just in case you watched any of my previous controller reviews here on my channel, you know by now that I'm a big fan of the Nintendo 64 controller because I grew up with it, and same goes with the DualShock line of controllers for all of the PlayStation video game consoles because I also grew up with them. And I mean, for me, it's really impossible to dislike the design of each of these controllers because, well, I've played them all my life. I've used them for my gaming. However, this video review isn't about either of these two controllers. It's about a controller that I previously showed off in a Pretty Shitty Pickups episode. It's Microsoft's own Xbox controller S. As you can see, if you turn it on the back, it has a sticker right there with the barcode on the bottom, and it says Xbox controller S, indicating that that's the model of the controller. And well, while this isn't the original design of the original controller, it doesn't mean that it's a bad controller, because it's not. I mean, just like the Nintendo 64 controller and the DualShock 3 controller, it's a great controller that feels awesome in your hands when you hold it because it's quite big and hefty. So, you know, you can reach all the buttons because they'll have great button placement, except for maybe the start and select buttons right here. So, you know, everything else though is pretty much good and what you would expect from a standard playable console controller. So as you can see, it has the big Xbox logo on the front right here, nice and shiny, taken care of with this controller. And you have the Y, X, B, and A buttons, which is a lot like the placement in the Sony's line of DualShock controllers, starting with the first one and up to the PlayStation 3 DualShock 3 controller. So as you can see, they're very similar in that perspective, and the placement of these buttons moved on to the Xbox 360 controller. So, you know, it's great in its design when the design is repeated, because that means it works. And as you can see, you have the white button right here and the black button, which, you know, are placed similar to the start and select buttons right here. And you have a stick right next to these 6 buttons, which you can reach easily when you're playing. This stick would be used more for camera movements as opposed to, say, moving your character if you're playing a game that has an open environment. You have the D-pad, which feels very nice, very comfortable. It's a lot like Sega's old school D-pads. It feels a lot like the Game Gear D-pad, so, you know, it's great. Definitely something that you can play with because, well, it works very well when you're actually playing a game. You have the other stick up on the left side right here, which will control, say, your character, and this one will control your camera. So, you know, it works fine if you're walking. Say you're playing Spider-Man 2, so you'd move Spider-Man with this stick, and you'd move the camera with this so that you could change your point of view. Up here on the controller, as you can see, it has 2 slots so that you can insert 2 different memory cards for the Xbox. So, you know, that's similar to the both the PS2 and the Nintendo 64, because just in case you don't know, the Nintendo 64 has this little area right here where you would insert a memory card or a rumble pack, so, you know, it upgrades the performance of the Nintendo 64 console. In the case with the Xbox controller S though, you would just place a memory card so that you can store your game data in it, so it could be safe. It could be used as backup or just to store any files that you may wish for your console. So, you know, that's definitely handy, and although I don't own any memory cards right now myself, they're there in case I need them. So you have your right shoulder button right here and your left shoulder button, so they're both like triggers. When you press them down, they retract back into their original positions, so, you know, that's nice as well. And with the Xbox controller S, you get lots of cord. I mean, look at this. You keep on pulling it and pulling, and so you can see all of it. You get lots of cord, several feet of cord, definitely longer than the Nintendo 64's line of cable, because with this you have to almost be in front of your TV so that you can play it in a comfortable way, because the cable doesn't stretch. But that's not a problem with the Xbox controller S, because you get a lot of cord, so you can sit quite the distance from your TV and the Xbox console itself. So this is basically the controller S for the classic original Xbox. Definitely a controller that I like, one of a favorite now for me, and one I definitely recommend if you want to play your classic Xbox, because I mean, not that you have many options out there, but definitely a great controller, and it stands up with time because of its great design. So basically, that's the review for the Xbox Controller S. Thank you for watching, and watch any of my other videos if you have time. Also, I have a Twitter and a Facebook page, so search me up there if you like, and thank you for watching the review of the Xbox Controller S.